I need some police protection immediately.
Okay, for what?
It is of vital national interest.
It was a mystery that began with an unsettling 911 call and turned into a cross-country search for a missing family of 4. Tonight, more than 2 years after a vanishing that made national news, Target 8 has the inside story from the Fremont family that lived it. The Siriglianos sat down with Target 8 investigator Susan Samples to talk about a father's psychotic break and warn West Michigan about the sweet treat that they believe triggered it.
Noel County 911.
Yes, hello. This is Anthony John Sirigliano. Everyone is okay, but I need some police protection immediately.
On the line, minutes after midnight on an October Sunday in 2022, an almost eerily calm Tony Sirigliano.
It is related to September 11th, and people want to erase me from the face of the earth. I'm a Christian. I just need some help, and then the U.S. government will take it from here. I'm not crazy.
First at 12:30, breaking news just into our newsroom, an alert about a family of 4 that is missing.
24 hours after the 911 call, the Siriglianos, Tony, Suzette, and sons Brandon and Noah were gone. And Suzette's mom, who lives with them and has dementia, was found wandering the neighborhood.
We don't see any signs of foul play right now. There's no signs of struggle inside the home.
The mystery of the missing family quickly captivated armchair detectives, and an alert gas station clerk in the UP spotted the family first, 300 miles from home.
We really have no idea of what ties either one would have in that area.
600 miles and 6 days later, the hotel clerk in Wisconsin recognized the family, and police found them safe and unhurt. Case closed. Until now.
All I had in my mind was to get away and head north.
It's the fear and confusion Tony remembers most.
I thought maybe that somehow I was the devil, and I asked God if I was the devil to just burn me to a crisp right now, and I'd be yelling, looking at the sky. Just really bizarre stuff.
You know, he was not in his right mind. He was not well.
What Tony didn't know at the time, at 51 years old, the IT specialist was experiencing for the first time a psychotic break.
And when your mind fails you, it's kind of an odd thing. So it wasn't like I was hearing voices. It seemed like my mind that I'm used to, you know, the internal talking that you're familiar with. But it just was saying crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I thought the world was going to end very shortly by a meteor strike. That was just one of many concerns that I had.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I can laugh about it now, but it was so crazy.
The Siriglianos reached out to Target 8, hoping to help illuminate a subject that desperately needs it, mental health. But there's something else, too.
Here is the infamous jar.
A couple months before the Siriglianos fled, Tony bought raw honey online.
When I ordered it on my mobile phone, I couldn't really read the letter, and it looked like something I had purchased before.
It wasn't, but Tony didn't realize that right away and said he started adding the honey, a teaspoon or 2, to his daily yogurt.
I didn't feel very good. I was having heart palpitations, and I thought it might be the honey.
Tony said that's when he noticed the Russian label, not his regular brand, and came across something online called Mad Honey. It's produced when bees feed on toxic nectar from rhododendron plants, mostly in Turkey and Nepal. Mad honey is known and prized for its intoxicating effect, especially since the social media debut of this super chill, honey-drunk bear in northern Turkey. In people, mad honey poisoning is hardly ever fatal, with symptoms ranging from low heart rate and blood pressure, confusion, agitation, vomiting, dizziness, and in very rare cases, and only at high doses, hallucinations.
I think this was about half empty before we dumped it out. So I had that much of whatever it was.
The honey Tony bought was sold as regular raw honey, not mad honey. Its distributor told me there's no way the honey, which he said was imported from Russia, was contaminated with anything. The FDA told me it has never had any complaints against that business. The Siriglianos are not convinced.
And that's when the problems began, you know, and it really started, I guess, building up, and started having a lot of unusual thoughts, very vivid dreams, just strange behaviors. My poor wife went through a lot.
Was this just terrifying? I mean, what's going through your mind during this?
Oh, I knew that it was definitely some craziness happening with him, and you know, we were just trying to figure out the best way of trying to get him help.
I'm not crazy.
When Tony himself pleaded for help in that 911 call, Fremont police did a welfare check and determined the Siriglianos were not in imminent danger. Tony disagreed.
And I was reading Revelation, which is, you know, pretty heavy stuff, and just misinterpreting. And besides people trying to kill me because I knew something about 9/11.
One day after Tony's call to 911, in the middle of the night.
And all of a sudden, he turned over, and I kind of opened my eyes and looked over at him. He turned, his eyes popped open. He looked right at me and said, "We need to leave now."
So he woke me up like at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she said like we had to go.
Suzette said she never felt threatened by Tony. Neither did their sons, Brandon, 21, and Noah, 17. When Suzette's mom, who had early dementia, refused to leave with the family, they reasoned she would be okay at home because Tony's mom would be stopping by soon. Tony insisted they leave their cell phones behind to prevent tracking. That's why Brandon tried to use the phone at that UP gas station. He wanted to call Tony's mom because he missed her.
He didn't know you had to press 1 before I put the phone number in, so it didn't go through.
The search is over for Fremont family.
1 week after the Siriglianos fled their Fremont home, a Wisconsin hotel clerk recognized them from the news. Suzette and the boys were relieved.
Because I really, really want to go back home.
We needed to get home, and he needed help.
I was institutionalized for about 3 weeks.
Tony was put on antipsychotic drugs and then court-ordered into 6 months of outpatient counseling. In his discharge summary, Newaygo County Community Mental Health reported Tony had been safely tapered off antipsychotic meds, has had no additional episodes, and no longer meets the criteria for severe, persistent mental illness. The report also noted that Tony had suffered what appeared to be a psychotic break triggered by the overconsumption of mad honey, which contained brain-altering neurotoxins. But the psychiatric hospital where Tony had stayed reported a different diagnosis, bipolar disorder. Though Tony notes the hospital spent very little time with him compared to Newaygo County Mental Health.
Mental health diagnoses are complex.
Dr. Bibhas Singla is a psychiatrist at Pine Rest, not the facility that treated Tony. Singla said paranoid delusions are a common symptom of mania.
And a lot of bipolar disorder can first present with mania, and then mania has paranoid delusions as one of the symptoms as well.
The Siriglianos said they'll never know for sure what caused Tony's psychosis. They dumped the honey when labs told them toxin testing would cost thousands and might not work anyway. Tony is back to working full-time in IT, and everyone's doing fine, including Suzette's mom.
We're very thankful that the neighbors did step in and things worked out as they did, and she's doing well, and we're doing good.
In Fremont, I'm Target 8 investigator Susan Samples.